Everybody keeps asking whether institutions are actually taking XRP seriously. Well, Bitwise may have just answered that question, because the company just added XRP into its first ever tokenized crypto fund alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana in a $259 million institutional product. And honestly, this story is much bigger than just XRP, because what Bitwise is really betting on here is the future of tokenized finance itself. According to reports, the new Bitwise Crypto Carry Fund already has more than $250 million in assets under management and is currently generating around a 4% 30-day yield. But here is where things get interesting. Unlike traditional crypto investment products that mainly rely on prices going up, this fund uses a basis trading strategy, meaning it holds spot crypto assets while simultaneously using futures positions to generate yield opportunities. That is a much more sophisticated institutional approach than simply buy and hope it pumps. And honestly, it shows how much the crypto industry is evolving. Now, another huge detail here is that the fund itself is tokenized on-chain, meaning investors can actually use tokenized fund shares as collateral inside DeFi ecosystems while still maintaining exposure to the investment product itself. That changes things, because traditionally, institutional investments were mostly locked away inside old financial systems. But now, tokenized finance is slowly merging traditional institutional capital with decentralized finance infrastructure. And that is exactly why this story matters. Now, according to Bitwise, these tokenized fund shares can already be used across DeFi platforms like Aave Horizon, Camino, and Morpho. That means institutions can unlock liquidity without fully selling their positions. And honestly, this is one of the clearest examples yet of how traditional finance and DeFi are starting to blend together. Now, obviously, XRP being included in the fund is also important, because XRP has spent years fighting regulatory uncertainty and skepticism from parts of the market. But now one of the largest crypto asset managers in the world is placing XRP beside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana inside a major institutional product. That says a lot, especially when you combine this with Bitwise already managing a separate spot XRP ETF product with hundreds of millions in assets. Now personally, I think the biggest theme underneath this entire story is interoperability, because right now crypto still feels fragmented. Bitcoin has one ecosystem, Ethereum has another, Solana has another, liquidity gets split across chains constantly, and institutions do not want to deal with messy, fragmented systems forever. They want smoother infrastructure, unified liquidity, better cross-chain movement. And honestly, that is exactly why projects trying to connect multiple ecosystems together are starting to get attention right now. One example is LiquidChain. Not financial advice, obviously, but LiquidChain is currently running its Layer 3 pre-sale at around 0.01465 per token. And honestly, the reason people are paying attention is because the project is specifically focused on connecting Bitcoin liquidity, Ethereum DeFi infrastructure, and Solana-level speed together into one unified execution layer, basically trying to solve one of the biggest problems in crypto right now: disconnected ecosystems. Now, obviously, people should always stay realistic with early-stage crypto projects. Most projects fail, but at the same time, the broader trend toward cross-chain liquidity and unified DeFi infrastructure is becoming increasingly obvious across the industry, especially as institutions continue entering the space. Now, another thing worth mentioning is that projects like LiquidChain are also trying to make DeFi faster, deeper, and more usable overall by creating larger unified liquidity pools across multiple chains instead of keeping everything isolated. And honestly, if tokenized finance continues growing the way companies like Bitwise expect, infrastructure connecting ecosystems together may become extremely important long-term. So bringing it all together, I honestly think this Bitwise story represents something much larger than just another crypto fund launch. This is the beginning of traditional finance and decentralized finance slowly merging together. Tokenized assets, institutional DeFi, cross-chain liquidity, on-chain collateral systems. These are the types of things quietly being built underneath the surface, while most people still only focus on daily Bitcoin price candles. And honestly, the next phase of crypto may look far more interconnected than most people currently realize.